For years, the Los Angeles Clippers have lived in NBA limbo, always close, never quite there. A franchise known more for missed opportunities than historic triumphs. But heading into the 2025 to 2026 season, something changed. The Clippers finally stopped waiting for destiny to arrive, and decided to chase it down. While other teams made quiet tweaks and safe bets, the Clippers went all in. They didn't just retool, they redefined themselves. Their front office made one thing clear: the era of patience is over. The mission now is simple: win, and win now. After a 50-win season that ended in yet another first-round playoff disappointment, most teams would have played it safe, blamed injuries, or tried to run it back. But the Clippers saw the writing on the wall. Instead of doubling down on the same core, they blew it up and rebuilt with purpose. Enter 4 veterans who bring more than just talent: Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, Brook Lopez, John Collins. Each was brought in to fill specific, long-standing gaps. This wasn't about star chasing or media buzz. It was about experience, toughness, and addressing real basketball needs. The message? This is their window. And there's no time left to waste. Bradley Beal, in particular, could be the game changer. Norman Powell had a career-best season, no doubt. But Beal offers something more: versatility, offensive IQ, and playoff poise. He's the type of player who can elevate a system, not just survive in one. This offseason wasn't about hope. It was about intent. For the first time in years, the Clippers aren't trying to prove they belong. They're coming for what's theirs. And if this new roster gels the way the front office believes it can, the league might be looking at a Clippers team that's finally ready to stop dreaming and start dominating. Bradley Beal's arrival in Los Angeles isn't about reclaiming past glory. It's about redefining his role in a system built to win now. Yes, his injury history raises valid concerns, and his time in Phoenix was complicated. But at his core, Beal remains one of the league's most gifted scorers, capable of creating his own shot, spacing the floor, and adapting to different offensive schemes. His shooting percentages have stayed elite even in less than ideal roles, and now, he steps into a lineup where his skills don't just fit. They fill gaps that have plagued the Clippers for years. This isn't Washington Beal, who needed to drop 30 every night just to keep his team competitive. This is a version with purpose. A player who elevates others by simply being on the floor. Paired with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, Beal doesn't need to dominate the ball. He just needs to tilt the defense, knock down timely shots, and thrive in high-pressure possessions. For a team looking to finally break through, Beal's value lies in nuance, not numbers. Then there's Chris Paul. He goes into a half-court slugfest or turns into a full-speed track meet. This roster has the flexibility to respond and thrive. James Harden remains a masterful shot creator, able to manipulate defenses and orchestrate the offense with surgical precision. Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, is still one of the most efficient two-way forces in the game. And now, with Bradley Beal added to the mix, the Clippers' perimeter rotation becomes one of the most dangerous in the Western Conference. Beyond their stars, the Clippers boast an impressive supporting cast. Veterans like Nicholas Batum, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Chris Paul bring leadership and composure, while younger contributors such as Max Christie and Sam Hauser inject energy and shooting. It's a blend of experience and upside that gives the coaching staff an extensive range of lineups to choose from. But as promising as the roster looks on paper, the single biggest variable isn't talent, it's health. Kawhi Leonard's availability has long been the team's X-factor. When he plays, the Clippers look like contenders. His presence alone reshapes the defensive schemes and transforms offensive spacing. But history has proven he's unlikely to be available for a full season. The same concern shadows Beal, who's played fewer than 55 games in each of the past 3 seasons. While Harden and Lopez have been relatively durable, the age of this roster introduces additional risks. 8 players are 31 or older, meaning the Clippers must carefully manage rest, workloads, and injuries throughout the 82-game grind. That said, this roster has something many veteran-heavy teams lack: redundancy. There's always someone ready to step up. If Kawhi misses time, Beal and Harden can carry the scoring load, with Bogdanovich and Derrick Jones Jr. offering support. If Harden sits, Paul takes over as floor general, while Chris Dunn shores up the backcourt on defense. If Brook Lopez is sidelined, Zubac and Collins can handle frontcourt duties without disrupting the system. This kind of depth often flies under the radar but could be the key to surviving a long season and staying playoff ready. Yet depth alone doesn't guarantee success. One of the most difficult parts of managing a veteran-laden team is role definition. Many of these players arrive with accolades, expectations, and the mentality of being the guy. Someone will have to sacrifice, be it touches, minutes, or even starting roles. That's where the real challenge begins. Creating a culture where every player feels valued while embracing a defined role is critical. For players like Beal and Collins, transitioning from high-usage roles to complementary ones won't be easy. It takes humility and trust. Strong locker room leadership will be essential, and that's where veterans like Chris Paul and Kawhi can lead by example, modeling professionalism and selflessness every step of the way. Because for all their talent, the Clippers know adaptability, unity, and buy-in are what separates good teams from great ones. This year's Clippers squad isn't just talented, it's strategically armed for whatever the Western Conference throws their way. Against guard-heavy teams, they can unleash defensive specialists like Chris Dunn and Chris Paul to contain perimeter threats. When facing dominant bigs, they can rotate between Ivica Zubac, Brook Lopez, and John Collins, each offering a different mix of size, rim protection, and mobility. In small ball battles, Nicholas Batum and Derrick Jones Jr. bring switchability and floor spacing that let them go toe-to-toe with quicker, more agile lineups. This kind of adaptability isn't a luxury, it's a necessity in a Western Conference where every postseason series feels like an entirely different sport. From Oklahoma City's turbocharged pace, to Denver's surgical half-court execution, to Houston's explosive, positionless attack, the matchups are relentless. But for the first time in years, the Clippers aren't reacting to the chaos. They're preparing for it. Still, adaptability only matters if it's built on chemistry, and that's been the Clippers' Achilles heel. Injuries, rest days, and constant roster shuffles have robbed this team of continuity. With so many new additions, this season demands cohesion early and often. They can't afford to stumble out of the gate. Shared minutes lead to sharper reads, instinctive switches, and unspoken trust, things that can't be coached or faked. Without that foundation, even the most talented teams break down under playoff pressure. This season, the goal isn't survival. It's timing. The Clippers need to peak when it counts, not burn out by March. And that requires reps, consistent, meaningful minutes where the roster can gel into something more than the sum of its parts. But the road ahead is brutal. Oklahoma City, fresh off a championship, sets the standard. Denver remains dangerous behind Nikola Jokic and a revamped supporting cast. Houston has quietly assembled a two-way roster with versatility and youth on its side. In a conference loaded with firepower, the Clippers may not have the most dazzling superstar trio, but they might just have the most complete team. Depth, experience, defense, shooting. These are the traits of contenders, not paper champions. If they stay healthy, the Clippers are built to claim a top 3 seed. That brings not only home court advantage, but a smoother path to the conference finals. And yet, lurking beneath the optimism is a familiar fear. What if it all unravels again? What if Kawhi misses extended time? What if Beal can't stay on the floor? What if this mix of veterans, for all its potential, never truly clicks? The Clippers have lived this story before, dangerous on paper, disappointing in reality. And this time, the margin for error is gone. This roster was built with a clear vision. Every offseason move addressed a specific weakness. Brook Lopez's rim protection, Beal's scoring efficiency, Collins' energy, Paul's leadership. Nothing was done for headlines. Everything was done for function. This isn't about hype, it's about results. But that clarity comes with pressure. Anything short of a deep playoff run will be seen as failure. And if this group falls short again, it may signal the end of this era of Clippers basketball. Because make no mistake, this season defines more than a franchise. It defines legacies. For Harden, Paul, Kawhi, and Beal, this may be the last shot at rewriting how they're remembered. Not just as great talents, but as champions. As leaders who turn potential into something permanent. This isn't just about rings. It's about redemption. The Clippers are betting big, on experience, toughness, and basketball IQ, in a league trending younger, faster, and flashier. It's a risky bet in a game that rarely rewards patience. But if everything finally clicks, if health, chemistry, and timing align, then maybe, just maybe, the Clippers can do what once felt impossible. Shed the past. Silence the critics. And finally rise. Not as contenders, but as champions.